Okay, so for reading log number 10, last one, we have A Different Pond by Bao Fi and illustrated by Thai. It is a Caldecott honor, and it's for K through 2, so probably about 4 to 8 for the age range. It's published in 2017 by Picture Window Bookstone or Bookstore, sorry, which is a capstone company. So it's about a little boy whose parents are Vietnamese immigrants, whose parents it's about actually the author Bao Phi, his childhood growing up going fishing with his dad because they didn't have enough money for food. So while other people were fishing for sport, him and his dad were fishing to feed their family, which is really sad, but he puts a good spin on it, and I think that it's good. I picked this one because I didn't have any books of Asian influence in my reading log so far, so I thought that I would add something like this. So, so it's kind of set up almost as a graphic novel form. So it's on the inside cover. Oh, I forgot to mention this. At the end, there is a little part about the authors and about their childhoods and stuff, and you can't really see it, but Thai Bui said that she wanted to put little tiny pictures of things that she remembered from her childhood. So there's like a Miracle Whip, there's a bowl of noodles, there's an old pair of sneakers, there's an old bunny rabbit, and that's the same for the back inside cover as well. So she actually, the illustrator, um, based the pictures off of pictures that Bao Fi had given her of his childhood. So the pictures actually do look like Bao Fi and his dad when he was little. So it kind of has this like double pane, like comic book, graphic novel kind of thing. The text is always like in the corner or in a blank space. There's no interacting of the text, and there's not really. I don't think there's any pictures that span the gutter except for maybe this one. And you can always see like they'll put a little picture of Bao Fi in the corner. So it is a fiction book, but it's based on. So it's kind of a little bit nonfiction. Um, and while he's out fishing with his dad super early in the morning, this is his time to hang out with his dad because his dad works a ton of jobs, and this is their time to bond. And his dad tells him about stories from Vietnam and him losing his brother in the war and the segregation and discrimination they faced in the United States after the war. And this is set in Minneapolis. So you get a little bit more into the narrators. Oh, I lied. There are a lot of things spanning the gutter. But then there's these little outcroppings that the author puts in of like memories that he has talking to different fishermen on the shore. But today they're all alone and they eat their bologna sandwiches by themselves. But I like this setup. I like the diagonal. So I like the setup of the two windows here into Bao Phi's thoughts. And I like that they put little close-ups of his face looking adorable throughout it. I think that the media, the way that this is done, is really good for the story because it's cartoony enough that it keeps your attention, but it's a real story, and it does get a little bit sad whenever they're eating their sandwiches and his dad tells them about his childhood. Um, but I think that it's a very raw story, like a family that can't even afford meat for their house, so they have to go fishing for it in Minneapolis in the 70s. Um, Definitely a little bit different than other books. Definitely a little bit more serious, but also has a good message. And then at the end, um, I like this page where he's thinking about the pond the next day, and the pond's above him, and this is him dreaming in his bed. So, and then they show this big family picture as well with him and his dad lit up at the front talking, and then here's all of his family around. Um, and then at the end, they have this little kind of scrapbooky looking part about the authors in their childhood because they're both, I believe, Vietnamese. Um, so they have pictures from their childhood. They kind of explain the inspiration for the story, which I thought was really awesome. And then he has acknowledgments in the back about his own daughter and how he didn't appreciate his dad at the time, but he made this book to appreciate him more. So that's all for my reading log. good end to it, I think, and we'll be back with the review.